All right, ladies, congratulations on the win. Hannah, I'm going to start with you being a post player in my youth myself. I have to, ask you a question to start off with. There were times in this game I saw you even picked up triple teams in this particular game. What kind of challenge is that like? What was like dealing with that?
It's definitely a challenge for me, playing against, these teams earlier on. They're really, adamant about me not getting the ball, or when I get it, a lot of people around me. So to stop me from scoring, because I'm just so much bigger than everybody else. So it's kind of hard trying to navigate that because, you're not really used to that, especially like in conference. So just kind of practicing it and in practice and working on it and working on passing out the double teams and finding different ways to find the ball and steal and things like that.
Well, in the play in particular, I cited there too. You just had to show them the jump shot and finish it that way there too. So there was that. But got in a little bit of a foul trouble there in third quarter, but gives you the opportunity for me to get an opinion from you watching some of your teammates in real time. Of course, Kialano Ngodu, Ashal Lakat come on to handle the front court duties. How do you evaluate their performance in that time?
Great. Especially Ashaw, she's our glue player. And, just Kai coming off the bench for me, being able to, pick up the slack and there not really be a drop off. We work on things in practice because we know, how hard they're going to play me. So everybody knows, like, they got to kind of maintain in the front court too, and not just only rely on one person. So I think they do a great job there. Especially Shaw with her rebounding and Kai also.
Emily, let me go to you. Early in the game, you may not have scored the first points, but you were involved with a lot of it, hitting KP down on some of those transition plays with that passing, getting that kind of chemistry. I mean, from our perspective, it's early in the season. You guys obviously been practicing for however long now since summer and all that. What's kind of been the key to you guys getting that chemistry to where you can find her in a pass like that right for the outlet?
Yeah, we work in the summer. We work on me being playing a little bit on the point guards, but we just got that chemistry, and as the season goes, we're gonna get better.
Actually, yeah, Bryson, go ahead.
So Emily, you had Caitlin Peterson back today. Now that you kind of had two games back to back, one without her, one with her, what was the biggest difference you noticed now that she was back?
I mean, she's a great player. People defend her like big because they know she's a scorer. So that really opened up the court for us to also score. But I think just scoring is the difference. But
you had your fellow true freshman Summer Yancey get double digits today. She's been really blossoming over the course of this. What's it been like working with her as a fellow true freshman, starting your collegiate basketball careers together?
Yeah, Summer has been doing great. She always working, so that work is paying off. She's doing great, and we freshmen, we try to help each other, so it's great.
Let me ask both you guys, obviously awesome to have a 30-point lead heading into a corner, but then North Florida came out in the fourth and just started shooting the lights out. From your perspective, I mean, was there something that happened that you could have controlled, or did they just get hot in the fourth?
I think they definitely got hot. They did a good job, going to the person with the hot hand. I think for us, the next step for us is just working on those little things and making sure we deny the hot person, don't let them catch the ball, and make sure we pick up our defense and play a little bit harder. There at the end, it's just having a dog mentality and understanding like there's a certain standard we have to uphold, and we can't let them come back and, hit 5 threes. We got to be able to stop those and control the pace of the game a little bit better.
A little bit of an odd start time for a basketball game. Get to have a post-game lunch instead of a post-game dinner this time around. What was it like for you to have this early of a tip-off, both of you?
It's a little bit different, but so we just went out there and played. It's early in the morning, but we still got the win, and it was great. So it was a great game.
Yeah, for me, just, being a vet, being in my senior season, I'm just kind of used to things constantly changing and having to quickly adjust to things. So I just know how to be able to prepare myself the days before and make sure I'm overly hydrated, make sure I'm getting the sleep I need, and getting those extra shots up the night before, because I know I don't have a shoot around the day of. So it's just being focused and focusing on those little things before the game.
But even as a vet, you're a player that feeds off of energy. How cool was it hearing the kids cheer in the stands?
It was so fun. I'm glad the kids got to come and experience that. I was one of those kids at one point myself, and, those things made my year. So I'm just glad I was able to, give the kids a little day off from school. They got to experience some things that maybe one day they'll be able to achieve if they want to.
And let me ask you, as a freshman here right now, obviously 2 more home games before you got a bit on the road instead. Going on the road, talking to coach, it's kind of the first, or I should say last big block you guys have to face, kind of gearing up for January in conference play, or late December in conference play, I should say. With that in mind, what do you kind of expect from going on that would be different for you personally?
Away games a little bit different because we are fans here. But we're just gonna go out there and play our game no matter where we are.
Hannah, coach said that you haven't had your best game yet. What do you think it's going to take for you to have your best game?
I think it's coming. I think it's just me being patient, and it's a marathon, not a sprint, and just trusting in God and trusting in my abilities, and understanding too, playing in these earlier games, like I'm being double teamed, I'm being triple teamed. It's harder for my teammates to give me the ball, and we're all developing that chemistry. We're working on things earlier on. So I think it's just being able to get in the flow of the season here. Last year, I missed my first 10 games, so it's super important to me. I'm, super blessed to be able to start here off so I can kind of get into that groove before conference play.
How big is it you talk about getting into that groove. How do you want to see the team get into that groove between now and UNLV, which will end up being a test for you guys? What's the biggest difference you want to see from now and then?
I just think our defensive energy and just being able to come into games with that dog mentality, because at the end of the day, defense wins championships. Our shots will come, but making sure we're rebounding, making sure we're staying in front of people, and people understand, okay, UCF is a gritty team. We're going to really have to run our stuff, set good screens against them, because they're going to execute defensively really well.
Last question.
7 minutes. You had had scoreless periods. 7 minutes. You had a scoreless third quarter from the Ospreys for 7 minutes of time, and then scoreless for 8.5 in the first quarter as well. We're talking about that dog mentality for defense. You have that going, but the tough thing, I guess, is in a win like this, what do you find to work on? What do you guys feel like you can build on and get better at from this game to Friday?
I think it's just running our stuff, being able to execute the things that we're running, getting gelled with each other, just getting KP back, getting her back, involved in everything. And I think just taking our defense seriously and looking at those little things that are going to be super important down the road in January.
Would it be tried to just call it polish at that point?
Polish, and we're just working on everything we see, turnovers, looking at those. We had a lot of those points from turnovers, so just working on those little things and just putting a little bit more focus into what we do.
Sounds like polish.
Best of luck next time, ladies.